Hello again. So today I'm going to talk about what I think is a memory, which is a memory, again in sleep, as a lot of these things do. Sometimes I get stuff in meditation, but this was whilst I was asleep. And of course, if you prefer to think of it as just fantasy or dreams, that's entirely up to you. I'm not telling you what you should believe or what you shouldn't believe. This is just my story, and this is just my reality, if you like. So take it as you want. But in this particular scenario, what happened was I was on a mission, as opposed to mission training, which was another video. This is a mission, and I was in a building. Now, what I have to explain is some things around it, because I was aware of where I was and what I was supposed to be doing, but there wasn't a whole lead up to it. This is like a snapshot, or a couple of snapshots of a whole mission event sort of thing. So what it started with was I was looking at a scenario, and I was looking at a man and a woman, and they were looking into an operating room. And in this operating room, there was a guy on a gurney. I knew that this guy was one of my team, because there was a team of us that had gone down there, and he was being tortured. So basically, he was strapped to this gurney, and they had these 3 robotic arms, and on each of the arms were like this big, it's like an injection thing with a big needle, a massive needle on it. And he was lying on his front on the gurney actually, and what they were doing was these needles were on these robotic arms, and they were coming down and they were injecting him into his back and releasing something into him. I don't know what it was, but it made his skin puff up like a ball. It was obviously very painful, and then it was slowly going down again. And the man and the woman were looking through this observation window into this operating room, watching what was going on. And the woman said to the man, I don't think he knows anything. And the man says, no, he would have talked by now if he did. As I was saying that, I saw this massive bulge on his back going down after he'd been injected with this thing. But I knew in my mind that he did know, but he was obviously strong enough not to say anything. So the question is, or afterwards, my question to myself was, how was I seeing this event? How were I seeing these two people having a small conversation looking through the window? I think possibly because this is an event that I don't think is related to this planet. I could be wrong, but most ETs, I think all ETs generally outside this planet, are highly psychic, and they use as a form of communication that they use quite widely is telepathy. And they use language and telepathy, and those two things together passes much more information than just words like we use here. If you talk to anyone who's empathic, and they will say what they get from everyone as they go around, and they get a lot more information about people and about what's going on than words alone. And you get more, and the feelings of being empathic, in my experience, I have I've got some empathic ability, and I think we all do. I mean, it's not unique to me or to even to ETs. We all have it, but it's just we seem to have it, a lot of us, to a lesser degree. Probably because we're not told that we have it and we can use it. We're told that most of these things are just science fiction and not true. As though people will sort of block it themselves or put it to one side, or if something happens, they'll say it was something else. Anyway, part of the whole telepathy thing and being more psychic is, you might have heard of remote viewing. So I think that this was probably me remote viewing where my team member was, and I managed to see this little scenario going on. So it gave me an idea as to where he was and where we needed to go and get him, because we were there on a mission. Part of it was to rescue my teammate, but the other part was that in this particular building, is a machine. And this machine, I only know this because this was in my mind. I knew this was the mission. So this was, no one told me, I just knew it. As I was, because obviously in this memory recall, I'm just recalling everything that I knew. Well, not everything, but what was pertinent at the time. And this machine, the words I got in my head were a world manipulating machine. Now, you could think that it could be many different things, as maybe just a threat, or whether it manipulates weather or other things. But I felt that it was more of a, if you like, a psychic manipulation. It's manipulating the emotions and feelings and how people are and how they think on a planet. And also that goes with that is that this machine was not on the planet it was manipulating. So where was this machine? I feel that it was off planet, and this could have been a massive ship, but I feel like this was on either another planet or a moon. And like I say, I don't think it was to do with this planet, it was to do with some other planet. And everyone there was very human looking. And in my experience and understanding, humans like us, that look like us, they're all over the shop. This is not the only planet where humans live, and we are part of a much wider galactic peoples that are human in various, they can have variations of course, but we're everywhere. And all these people were pretty human looking. So I assume I was also. And so there's a world manipulating machine, and we were there to destroy it, to stop it. We're trying to save this planet, the people on this planet, from being manipulated by these people, whoever they are, who wanted to manipulate the people on the planet. And so we're there to destroy the machine, to rescue my compatriot, and to get out. So that was the scenario, and then it sort of cuts to a scene, like a dream or a movie, where you cut to a scene, and this woman has come to me, and she is our extraction team. So she's come to extract us from this place, this planet, moon, or whatever it is. And the reason I think it is not a craft of some sort, but another planet or moon, is because, well, I'll get to it. She came to me and said, right, we need to get out. And she was going to take us to the extraction point, which I knew in my mind apparently was going up. We had to go up somewhere to a tower or something and do something there. And then a craft of whatever sort was coming in to extract us. And they were going to get out of there. And then what I saw then were loads of people. And we'd already started the destruction of the machine, which has created mass panic. And everyone was fleeing down the corridors of this place, taking stuff with them and everything. And the place was I felt it was sort of shaking. So I felt there was like a rumble and things were moving. And that's why I don't know why actually, it may not be, but that just made me think it was a planet. I have to go with how I felt really. It's a lot about feelings. I didn't see the planet or anything, but I just felt it was a planetoid. So I'm going with a planet or moon. I'm thinking a moon of some sort. And so everyone was fleeing because it was all going to pot. And I guess that would help us to rescue our guy, as they were torturing him, but they knew he didn't know anything. So I'm hoping that I got there. I don't remember picking him up and taking him, but I just remember we were then going towards this, to go up a tower to some sort of control tower place where we're going to be extracted. And this woman was part of a team that was extracting us. She was part of the extraction team. And I can't be sure, but I think maybe she was a Pleiadian woman. Yeah, that's okay. Again, that's just a feeling. I can't be sure exactly, but that's what I think. that was basically the story, and that's basically what was going on, what my memory was. But what else was after that? I in a meditation, I decided to meditate on that event and what I saw to see if I could get any more, to see what would happen. And when I did that, I had a lot of emotion come up. I was very sad, and I actually had tears come to my eyes when I was thinking about my comrade who had been obviously captured and was being tortured. I don't know if the tears were because he was caught and he was tortured, or whether he actually died and we didn't manage to get him out in time. I'm not sure, but horrible feeling that may have been the case. Hence feeling so sad. But there it is. So that is the case, that is the mission. Who was I then? I don't know. In what form? Again, if you look at my other videos, etc., you'll know that in my understanding and experience, I have another body in another frequency realm within the multiverse, and I probably have lots of other bodies as we exist throughout the multiverse on the different levels. And this was another version of me. It could have been a previous life, but what is a previous life? It gets complicated. When you realise that you are not a body, the body is just a vessel, it's just an avatar, that we are sentient consciousness, having an experience. I'm presently having a human experience, and I was having a memory, a bleed through of a memory, and I used to get a lot of bleed through memories from what I call my primary incarnation, because I have a primary incarnation, and he has put part of his consciousness, or a lot of his consciousness, he's gone into stasis, into some kind of immersion pod. That's another video. And he's put a lot of his consciousness, sentience, into this body here, into having a life here. And that's what I'm doing here. And part of what I'm doing here is doing videos like this. That's what's going on. And it all gets a little bit complicated, but it's all very interesting. So I hope you found that interesting, and it might spur you on to doing further investigations. Someone who helped me a lot was Guy Stephen Needler. When I was looking for, I met myself, my primary incarnation. We had a conscious meeting, we met, and I was very confused as to why I would be living here and have a body living somewhere else, and how that worked. And on the internet came up, as it does for me sometimes, Guy Stephen Needler videos. And he seemed to have a good idea about the structure of the multiverse. And for some reason, obviously there was a good reason, I knew my higher consciousness was telling me, this guy is going to help you out. And so I looked at it and thought, well, he can help me. And I told him my story, and he knew exactly what was going on with me. And he knew all about primary incarnations, which he informed me about, and it made me understand a lot. So that's where I am, and maybe that's where you are, who knows. But there's many different versions of incarnating into the world and the universe and the multiverse. So okay, thanks for listening, and see you again at another video. Thank you.